Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's a day game from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The rubber game between the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Game 1 Monday night, first inning. Carlos Gomez with an RBI. That proved to be the game winner, 1-0 the final. Then yesterday, Mark Reynolds, a single up the middle. That would score Randal Grichuk. You guessed it, 1-0 the final in favor of St. Louis. Welcome to the broadcast booth. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us here on Fox Sports Midwest. The Cardinals, with a win today, win the series and also could wrap up a 7-2 homestand.
It's been a great homestand. I think starting pitching has been a key for St. Louis. The starting pitcher's ERA, just 1.69. John Lackey's had something to do with it. His last time out, a 9-strikeout performance against the Dodgers. He has been pounding the strike zone.
We'll see John Lackey today. The veteran right-hander going for St. Louis. Rubber game, Cardinals and Brewers coming up. Lackey in his Cardinal debut. The team that he saw, the Milwaukee Brewers. And that day, a good debut for John Lackey, with A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. Here at home, Lackey has been one of the best the Cardinals have. The team record 9-1 when John Lackey is on the mound here at Busch Stadium. He goes today looking for win number 4. Bud Light Live, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Nice crowd filing in, a day game here at Busch Stadium as we wrap up the homestand. Cardinals head to L.A. after the game. Road trip that'll have 4 with Los Angeles and 3 with Colorado. Unfinished business here, though, as Gene Segura leads it off, followed by Gerardo Parra, then Carlos Gomez, Adam Lind, Jonathan Lucroy, Shane Peterson, who was in the Cardinals minor league system, Hector Gomez, Hernan Perez, and the pitcher Jimmy Nelson batting ninth. Lackey has been terrific here at home.
ERA at 2.83 overall. His first 10 starts at Busch Stadium have been just absolutely phenomenal, and he was so good against the Dodgers in his last outing. 9 strikeouts. And one thing that we've noticed with John Lackey, Dan, is his ability to get strike one. Sounds simple, but this 36-year-old right-hander has figured it out. Strike one leads to outs.
Cardinals have had great success against Milwaukee here at Busch Stadium. 79-63 against the Brew Crew, as Gene Segura leads it off. Segura hitting .282 with a pair of home runs, and he's driven in 14 this season. You mentioned it, the key with John Lackey, he is a strike thrower. First pitch strikes in particular.
And a different lineup today that he'll be facing with the Brewers. No Ryan Braun, who's not here in St. Louis. And an off day for Aramis Ramirez, who's been a Cardinal killer in the past. Not so much this year, but certainly over the years.
And the first pitch is taken for a ball, and we're underway. Lackey has that old school mentality. Fiery competitor, and that pitch is hit out to deep left field. Holiday back near the wall, and he's got it.
Well, Busch Stadium is known as a pitcher's ballpark, and there's an example of it. That ball was hit pretty hard by Segura, and the ball just didn't carry well in the left center field. Maybe he didn't quite get it on the screws, but Holiday found the wall, found the baseball, out number one.
In right field today, Gerardo Parra, who's hitting .263 with a pair of home runs, and he has driven in 14 this year. Former Arizona Diamondback, and he looks at his strike. Kerwin Danley calling the balls and strikes here this afternoon.
So Ryan Braun occasionally having to get treatment on his thumb throughout the course of the season, and today just happens to be one of those days, so he's out of town getting that done. They'll have an off day, and then he'll be back again. But again, a very different lineup without Braun in it for Craig Counsell.
Milwaukee the off day, and then Minnesota, one of the hottest teams right now in baseball. The Twins are 10 games above 500. They played exceptional baseball at home, 19-7 Minnesota. They had the best month of any team in baseball in the month of May, and that month propelled them to first place. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Parra. Hit the other way and a base hit. A look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for John Lackey.
Lackey throws a fastball again. He likes to start out counts with the fastball, gets strike one. The slider is his chase pitch, and a good pitch for him. He uses that 25% of the time. Also will kind of open it up and have a bigger curveball. Change up just 3.6% of the time.
Carlos Gomez has been in 3 different spots in this lineup for the series. Gives you an idea of power and speed. He's been a leadoff man like he was last night in game 2. He is hit in the middle of the order, and today he's in the 3rd spot with Braun being attended to with the sore thumb.
All things being equal, Dan, and just assuming that he's got regular players around him and it's not on a need base, a little bit like Brandon Phillips. Where do you think Carlos Gomez is most suited with the skills that he brings?
In this lineup in particular?
No, just in general. When they take the lineup out of it, who's behind him, and I mean, just for his long-term benefit, I think that's a question they're going to have to answer as they develop this team over the next year or two.
Runner goes. Hit and run was on. I like him in this spot more so than a leadoff man.
I do too.
Be curious to see the numbers he could put up with people getting on in front. I can understand why you'd be intrigued in having him as a leadoff man because of his speed.
The speed almost confuses you a bit when it comes to evaluating Carlos Gomez. He's a very gifted player. And the reason I asked that question, talking about going forward, you've been mentioning in this series that the Brewers are going to try to develop this team and figure out kind of what pieces to move and what pieces to develop. Are you looking for a leadoff hitter or not? Or do you have one? Are you looking for a big power hitting left-handed guy in the middle of your lineup? Or is he your cleanup hitter?
See with runners on what he's done, 435, which lends itself to being down in the order. Chance to drive runners in. I like Segura as a leadoff man because of his speed. Remember, he had 40 steals, 40 plus 2 years ago, but the problem is he doesn't get on base enough. Another check on Parra.
You ever stack the lineup big enough in the middle of the lineup where you could put Gomez in that second spot? I don't think that would be a bad spot either. Got extra speed at the top. Now he does strike out occasionally, but that'll get your attention in that first inning, won't it?
Sure would. 0-2 pitch. Line drive into right field. Hayward on the move. Makes the catch. That may have saved a run. Certainly takes an extra base hit away from Gomez. The Gold Glover in right field, Jason Hayward. Dobbs Tire Auto Center's defense for the Cardinals: Holiday, Grichuk, and Hayward in right. Then Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Reynolds. Molina behind the plate. You would have to get a very good jump to make this play, and Hayward did.
One of the things we've seen with Jason Hayward is how he glides as an outfielder. It doesn't look like he's necessarily running fast or hard, but he is. He's so smooth in the way he does it. Covers a lot of ground quickly. Off the bat, I thought that was a double.
Agreed. Adam Lynn now. Average at 277. Eight home runs. He's driven in 23. Good numbers against John Lackey. Parra is the runner at first, and a 1-0. Popped up and foul out of play. On the outfield grass, second baseman today, Colton Wong. Interesting how they play him here, because many times if Wong is going to be on the outfield grass, it's with a shift.
Right.
Cardinals do play him a little bit to pull. Carpenter well off the line at third.
That's the difference between a shade and a shift, what Johnny Peralta is doing right now. He is, yes, playing Lynn to pull, but he is on the left side of second base. You're absolutely right. Normally that will accompany kind of the moving back of the second baseman, but I think the assumption here is that they're going to be able to throw out Lynn from a deeper position, and that gives Colton Wong more range when he's playing that deep.
And a base hit opposite way. Parra moves up to second base. Hasn't been a very smooth inning thus far for John Lackey, but you get out of it, regroup.
Last three Brewers have taken Lackey the other way. This is an off-speed pitch down in the middle of the zone, and we saw Parra do it, same hole, left side. We saw Gomez hit the ball the other way hard, and the nice play by Hayward. So now three in a row, so you get a sense of what the Brewers' attack might be on Lackey, and really that's what Lucroy's been wanting to do all series, is hit the ball the other way.
Average at 151, no home runs, 1 RBI. Returned from the DL this series on Monday night. And the fractured toe. It was on the DL since April 20th. This Brewers team really struggling in many facets, in particular what they've done offensively. However, they play the Cardinals better than most. When you look at their numbers across the board, they play St. Louis differently.
I'm not sure where the Brewers will end up this year, but there will be times during the season where the Brewers will be a team you don't want to play.
Nothing to lose. 2-1.
Lucroy will get hot. Gomez will get hot. Brian Braun will get hot all at the same time, and you look at their lineup and say, how are they 16 games out of first place?
The question will be, next time we see them, what faces will still be a part of this everyday lineup? We will not see the Brewers until early August. After today, a 3-1 pitch and a fly ball lifted into right. Lackey will get out of the jam. Catch made by Hayward. Brewers strand 2. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. He is settled into that spot in the lineup, followed by Matt Carpenter, Matt Holliday here in the first. Then Johnny Peralta, Randall Grichuk, Mark Reynolds, Yadier Molina, Jason Hayward, and the pitcher batting ninth, that's John Lackey. Cardinals will face big right-hander Jimmy Nelson, who is 2-5 this season.
Just 25 years of age. He has very good stuff, but has not pitched well against the Cardinals yet in his very young career. He's 0-3 with an ERA over 10, and in the 2 starts that he's made against St. Louis, he hasn't been able to get past the 5th inning.
Wong hitting .307, 6 home runs, and he's driven in 23. And the first pitch taken for a ball. We were wondering at the beginning of the season, really last couple of years, could Colt Wong be your everyday leadoff man? And we're starting to get the answer to that. Wong shoots it out to left field. That ball is down. 2 hops off the wall. Colton to second base with a leadoff double.
Well, that's one of the things he brings to that leadoff spot is he has gap power. Occasional home run power, but certainly the ability to get himself to second base. Does have good speed, but his ability to plug the gap here. And, you think of a leadoff hitter, Dan, as a guy that's going to walk 100 times a year. Maybe Colt Wong will become that guy, too, to elevate his on-base percentage. But I just like the threat that he brings to that spot.
Leadoff double, and now it's Matt Carpenter. Carpenter, a tough homestand, 6 for 26. And the first pitch taken for his strike. He's over his last 7. He walked twice last night. Now has 26 walks this year, and that's 12th best in the National League. One of the best in the league with runners in scoring position, 444. His teammate on deck, not bad either. That's Mr. Holliday. You've got Parra in right field. He's played left field primarily in this series, very right. And I mean very right towards the line with Carpenter at the plate. I just wonder if he's in left, if he makes that play off the bat of Colt Wong.
I think that's a legitimate question. Parra has very good speed defensively. We know how good his arm is. I think it's part of the reason he's shallow right now. He wants to have that threat of maybe, guys with good arms in the outfield, they want opportunities to throw guys out at the plate to show off their arm.
1-2 pitch. Ground ball off the glove of Nelson. Backhanded by the second baseman Perez, and everybody is safe. Base hit for Carpenter. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jimmy Nelson.
60% fastballs, and the rest assortment of breaking pitches, slider to curveball. And you normally use that curveball to left-handed hitters, sliders. You're trying to get the swing and miss to the righties down and away, and that's a ball he should have caught. And he expected to catch it, and if he did catch it, Colton Wong was out because he was leading off the base at second, going on contact, thought it was going to be by the pitcher, and it almost wasn't. But break for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the first.
On-base streak ended last night for Matt Holliday. In 45 games, he went 0 for 3, no walks. National League and franchise best record. Late in the game, ejected. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Holliday. 1 ball, 1 strike. think about the last 2 seasons, on-base streak of 47. Longest Cardinals streak since Jimmy Edmonds reached in 47 straight back in that magical 2004 season, which may have been the best team we've seen here in the last 20 years.
I agree. Power of that team, and the pitching was good, and boy, it was just a dangerous lineup from top to bottom.
When they added Larry Walker, my goodness,
it was almost an overkill. Didn't you get that sense when Larry Walker was like, wait a minute, the team's going to score enough runs already, now you're just making it impossible to get them out.
2-2. What gets overlooked with that team too was the fact that they had the MV3s, and that got all the attention, but the starters went every day. You know, every 5th day there wasn't a guy missing a start because of injury or being skipped. Just consistent starting pitching, and that's what this team has right now. 432 in this spot, the average for Holiday. The 2-2 pitch on its way. Ooh, nearly a wild pitch. And the count is full.
Consistent starting pitching is the best way to get streaks. You've got your rotation kind of turning over, and you have an expectation every day when you come to the park. Oh boy, we got Lance Lynn today. We got a chance to win. Wait a minute, we got John Lackey today. We got a chance to win. Michael Wacha, Carlos Martinez. It is such a lift for a team as opposed to, hey guys, we better score 10 today because we got Dan McLaughlin pitching.
Ouch.
Or Rick Horton pitching. I mean, it's a very different feel when your rotation is as strong as the Cardinals is.
A look at the Milwaukee defense. Shane Peterson in left, Carlos Gomez in center, Parra is in right. Hector Gomez at third, Segura, he's at short, Hernan Perez at second base, Adam Lind is at first, Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. Innings started with a double from Cole Muang. Infield hit by Carpenter, walk to Holiday, and one of the hottest hitters in baseball steps in. Hits in 9 of his last 11 games. 5 multi-hit games in that time and 9 RBIs in that time. A chance for Johnny Peralta with the bases loaded. And it's ball 1. Johnny hitting close to 500 against Milwaukee this year. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
The way the pitching has been here in this first inning, it's almost been a half a game's worth of base runners compared to what we've seen in game 1 and game 2. Very little action on the base pass, but John Lackey had to pitch out of trouble in the first. The Brewers were swinging it. Now the Cardinals threatening in the bottom of the first.
Bases loaded. The 2-0. In his career, the Cardinals shortstop, 131 at bats against Milwaukee, a .366 hitter. Second highest average among active players against the Brewers behind Tulowitzki. Base hit into center. 1-0 Cardinals on an RBI from Johnny Peralta. Bases remain loaded for Randal Grichuk.
Good at bat by Johnny Peralta. He smokes this ball to center. In fact, he hits it so hard, Carpenter can't score from second base. This ball was smoked. Makes contact right out in front of the plate. Head on it. Arms extended. Good finish. And it helped that he had a hitter's count.
12 of the 20 hits for Randal Grichuk this year have gone for extra bases. Bases loaded, nobody out. Today he starts in center. His 16th start of the year. Oh-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
Another hard question with Randal Grichuk would be, where have you liked him the best? In left field, in center field, or in right field? And I would say yes, yes, yes. I like him in each place. He's shown the ability to make some nice plays in center and shown some range. Has the arm for right. Has played left well.
The 0-2. My answer would be in the lineup somewhere. The 0-2 again. Grichuk bounces it left side and off the glove of Gomez. A run will score. The bases remain loaded. It's 2-0 St. Louis. What could have easily been a double play.
This should have been a double play. Simple two-hopper. He's setting the throw to second base, but forgot to catch in the ballpark. Perfect opportunity for a double play. Would have changed the complexion of this inning for Jimmy Nelson. Now he's in even more trouble.
Randall Grichuk's going to love this, but he's been given a hit on that play. So a base hit and an RBI for Grichuk, his 10th ribby this year.
I hear jingle bells in the background. It must be Christmas. Oh my.
And now it's Mark Reynolds. Already a visit from the pitching coach of the Brewers to, I'm sure, try to calm down Jimmy Nelson. 4 hits in the inning and a walk. Reynolds a base hit into center field. 1 run is in. They'll hold up Peralta. Holiday scores. 3-0 St. Louis. Oh, and by the way, the bases are still loaded.
Something the Cardinals have been missing a bit in this homestand, despite a 6-2 record, are hits with runners in scoring position. But we've seen that big time here in the bottom of the first.
And a chance now for Yadier Molina. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. Five hits in the inning. A walk. 3 runs already. Still nobody out. Molina with a high fly ball into center field. Gomez going back, makes the catch on the track. 2 runners will tag up. 1 will score. That's Peralta. 4-0 Cardinals. RBI number 20 for Yadier Molina.
We talked about the risk. That's runners in scoring position. Cardinals 2 years ago, terrific at that. They went down last year. They started off well this season with a high 280 average through May 20th. But since that, the last 12 games, it's been at 193. They've still found ways to win, however, 7-5 record during that time. But the 27-12 start had a lot to do with them getting hits like they're getting here in the bottom of the first.
And a ball to Jason Hayward.
And can you think of a time, Dan, when Yachty has smoked the ball like he just did in the last 3 to 4 weeks? That's a good sign.
The 1-0 pitch. Hayward into center field. Catch will be made by Gomez. Grichuk will tag up. 5-0 St. Louis. It brings in John Lackey.
Even the outs are loud in this inning.
Runner at first is Mark Reynolds. 5-0 Cardinals. Coming into play today, Lackey had the 8th lowest run support among any National League pitcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, that's changed now with 5 runs here in the bottom of the first. They had been providing him just over 3 in his starts.
And that's 5 straight batters driving in a run.
John Lackey didn't look overly sharp in the top of the first, but he did enough to get out of that jam, and now the Cardinals have given him 5 runs. The 1-2. What an inning for St. Louis. The Cardinals with 5 hits and 5 runs. Wong, Carpenter, Holiday, Peralta, Grichuk, Reynolds all reach base. 5-0. Keys to the game.
Well, one of the keys we've talked about already is the starting pitching dominance that we've seen over the last couple of weeks for the Cardinals, and you'd hope that John Lackey would continue that here this afternoon. An improved wrist, well, that's been the case already. It's Cardinals hitting with runners in scoring position. We've already given you that graphic that the Cardinals' last 12 games not as good at that, and you know you're going to ebb and flow with that over the course of the season, and Cardinals certainly making a comeback with it here today so far.
Shane Peterson is in the Cardinals minor league system at one point. Also part of a very big deal at one point in Cardinals history. And there's a strike to today's left fielder for the Brewers. 2008 second round, and he was part of the Matt Holliday deal. 0-2.
He'd been a minor league all-star with the Cardinals in the Florida State League, a second-round pick, as you saw, and yet that guy was worth getting. I'd say most Cardinal fans are thrilled with that particular deal, and you think about Brett Wallace at the time was considered one of the best young hitting prospects in the game of baseball. Just kind of didn't become the guy that everybody thought he would be. Got kind of bounced around from organization to organization.
0-2 pitch. Popped up into center field. Randall Grichuk is there, 1 away. Lackey in the first inning gave up a couple of base hits to Parra and Lind to the opposite field. Dealt with runners on and pitched out of the jam. So important that first inning you put up a 0.
Even if it's not an easy 0, find a way to get it. You're amped up for your start. You've been waiting 5 days for this. You go out there the very first inning, and you've got the contrast of how John Lackey feels and how Jimmy Nelson feels right now. Whether it was pretty or not, John Lackey sees that 0. He's got the lead. He can kind of sit down and kind of regroup a little bit when you go back out there for that second and maybe kind of get in a groove. We talk about that a lot with veteran pitchers especially. If you let them get into their groove, they're tough to get.
0-2 pitch inside on Hector Gomez. Game 1 of this series, Jaime Garcia goes 7 innings, gave up just 3 hits, 1 earned. Took a loss. That's a tough loss there. And last night it was Lance Lynn. 7 2/3. Did not give up a run and a 1-0 St. Louis win. And it was fastball after fastball from Lance Lynn last night. The 2-2. Lackey thought he had the strikeout. And a walk. Lackey glares back at the home plate umpire, upset about the previous pitch.
And maybe mad at himself a little bit too. He has not been walking very many batters, and you're talking about the rotation, Dan. Carlos Martinez is 5-2 with a 3.13 earned run average in 10 different starts, 11 games overall, and has the highest ERA in the Cardinals rotation at 3.13.
Hernan Perez. Those are career numbers. He comes from Detroit, where he was 2 for 33 to start the year. Fly ball lifted into right center. Grichuk with the play. Gomez back to first base, and there's 2 down. Remember on Sunday, the Brewers had a 17-inning game, so Matt Garza had to come in relief, 5 innings. Fiers was pushed up. He went 6 innings in game 1. Cravey, major league debut, gave them 7 last night. Now they do have the off day tomorrow that we talked about, but clearly need some innings today from Jimmy Nelson.
When your bullpen gets worn out, that's something that lasts for 2 or 3 days, depending upon what the starting pitching is that follows. And you mentioned Fiers, and Cravey certainly made it less painful for Rick Kranitz and Craig Counsell and the Brewers to figure out where they're going to get innings from. But still, it's not a simple question for that bullpen right now.
1 ball and 2 strikes. On the outside corner, Lackey gets the call. His first strikeout this afternoon. Midway through 2, 5-0 Redbirds.
Halladay. He says he was surprised when he was ejected by Joe West in the bottom of the 7th last night for arguing a called third strike. Matt felt very strongly that he had done absolutely nothing wrong. He said, quote, "I have a clean conscience on what I said. None of it was vulgar." Halladay says he simply, albeit repeatedly, voiced his displeasure with the call. He said it was nothing personal about West. There was no cussing. Mike Matheny said he was also shocked by the ejection, especially with some of the helmet slamming stuff that was going on the other side. And Dan Matheny was obviously voicing his displeasure when he, like Matt Halladay, got the gate from Joe West.
Well, I didn't expect him to be happy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about the reality of what Segura had done the inning prior. You wonder if it was just cumulative for Joe West that he had so many people yelling at him. It's just, well, whoever's next, I'm not going to take it anymore. And certainly the Brewers had a lot to argue about. Ryan Braun, Segura, both got rung up on pitches that weren't strikes, and I think Joe just had enough. But I do think it's important to Matt Halladay, as Jim said, that Cardinal fans understand that he didn't say any magic word. There wasn't any vulgarity in what he said. He just was continuing to question whether or not that ball was inside, and he maybe said it one too many times, I guess, as far as Joe was concerned.
2-0 pitch. Joe West was approached by a pool reporter and declined to answer any questions, my understanding. 2-1 the count. Colton Wong with a double and a run scored. Jim, you have more on the situation with Joe West addressing it after the game?
Yeah, you mentioned that a pool reporter submitted some questions in writing to Joe West. He declined to answer them. First, he said the request was made too late, and I was told technically he was correct, but he said he also didn't want to get into some of the subject matter, and most of the questions were about him throwing out Matt Halladay, so that's the Joe West side.
That pitch just missed, and it's 3-2.
The protocol is, and Jim's correct, that the media has to ask to speak to the umpire actually before the game is over, and then a representative will go to the umpire's locker room through another representative and will request that he be available. And if that's not done in a timely fashion, they don't need to respond, but they are required to respond if somebody asks them in a timely fashion.
One out, and it brings in Carpenter. I was talking with Tim about this the other day. That to me is something that needs to be done. You know, we asked the closer who just gave up a bomb to lose the game to address the media. We asked the guy that had the ball go through his legs, cost him a game, and now we're asking an umpire to explain it to the fan bases why certain players aren't in the game anymore.
And they are required to. But what it takes is somebody from the media to have an official request to them. And if they don't get it in a timely fashion, they're not required to do it. Now, should they do it, that's a different question. But they're required to talk to a pool reporter anytime they're asked.
Lind with the play, back-to-back. Join Fox Sports Midwest and the Rams at the annual Coach Fisher and Friends softball game that's Sunday at T.R. Hughes Ballpark, home of the River City Rascals. All proceeds from the event will benefit 5 different charities. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit stlouisrams.com.
Good to have Jeff Fisher with us here yesterday.
Sure was. Here's Halladay, who walked and scored, part of the 5-run first for the Cardinals. Outfield is deep. St. Louis will head out to L.A. and Michael Wacha will get the start tomorrow. Talking with Michael before the game today, he's never made a start or pitched his recollection at Dodger Stadium, so he'll go tomorrow. Carlos Frias 4-2 will go for the LA Dodgers. Carlos Martinez in game 2 against Brett Anderson. Jaime Garcia, Clayton Kershaw game 3. Lynn Greinke game 4.
Going to be a fantastic series.
Sure is.
Dodgers are playing very well at home, as the Cardinals are, and they're not going to be easy to beat in LA. And now the Cardinals have to see both Greinke and Kershaw in that series. And it's one of those series that if you lose games to the first two pitchers and all of a sudden now you're facing Greinke and Kershaw, I mean, that's a tough task.
That's a great point. Pressure on those first two.
There really are.
1-2 the count on Holiday. Down the right field line, slicing foul. Sun is peeking through the clouds here at Busch Stadium. We've had cool temperatures for this homestand, very pleasant, and big crowds. On 1-2. A check swing. And no appeal. I'm shocked. Lucroy did not ask the first base umpire for an appeal. Gabe Morales.
He's thankful they're not asking one of the other umpires. That would create a little more controversy, would it not?
What are you referring to?
I'm just saying. Just trying to get under your skin a little bit, Dan. How am I doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. You turn the page, Rick. This game of baseball.
A trite, overused saying, but 100% correct.
There's a grounder to short, backhanded by Segura. Picked by Lynn. With a nice inning defensively over at first base. For the first time, the greatest golfers in the world, and coverage on the Pacific Northwest for a chance to stamp their names in the history books. The U.S. Open, June 18th, Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. St. Louis's very own Jay Delsing will be a part of that. Really a St. Louis flavor, too, when you think about Joe Buck anchoring the coverage of the Open. And you got Tom O'Toole, who's based here and obviously dug in deep with the PGA. So Jay Delsing kind enough to join us here in this inning and talk about the coverage coming up on Fox as Segura tries to bunt his way on. Good to see you.
You too, Danny. Thanks for having me.
How excited are you?
Oh, gosh. I could walk to Seattle right now. I'm really excited for this opportunity.
Chambers Bay, just outside Seattle. How tough is that course?
Oh boy, it's nothing like I've ever seen before. It's kind of like playing golf on the moon. There's some big craters out there, and there's 8 par 4s that are over 500 yards long, and it's a lot of golf course.
Your role with the coverage will be what?
I'll be roving out through the fairways, probably apologizing to the folks that I've hit over the years.
How many years were you a pro on tour?
Oh gosh, I probably played full time on the PGA Tour for probably 25 years. Yeah.
Popped up and out of play off the bat of Segura. And you have qualified, by the way, for the U.S. Senior Open, right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I qualified in Nashville last Monday.
That's outstanding.
Thank you.
When you walk with a guy on the course, are you able to talk to them during the round, or is it more what you're observing that they're doing?
I think it's more observing. I think most of the guys, there's been a push over the years to try to get more interaction between the players, their caddies, but it hasn't gone over well with the PGA Tour, and so I think we're going to just be kind of trying to find a little nook on each hole and just kind of report what happens.
Who would you like to follow?
Oh, I'd love to follow Tiger.
Does he have a chance to win this?
Boy, you know, he's one of those sort of athletes that comes along in a generation, so you can never count him out, but he really doesn't look like much of himself right now.
Here's Parra, who singled to left his first time up and jumps on this pitch. Drills it out to right field, and that ball is gone in the Cardinal dugout, or rather bullpen. And Parra with home run number 3 and his 15th RBI. And so that gets Milwaukee on the board, and it's 5-1 St. Louis.
He kills us.
He's a good player. We saw him with Arizona, very good defensive player, 2-time Gold Glover, number of outfield assists, and this home run into the bullpen in right.
Is he in right field today, Danny, because of his arm?
Well, he can play all over.
Yeah.
He can play left, he can play center or right. And Braun is out with an injury, so that's why he's there. Popped up. Long way to go for Hayward. Wong is over. Foul territory, makes the catch. So if you had to handicap this, give me your top 3 that have a chance to win this.
Boy, I really think the golf course is going to lend itself to a Euro winner, unfortunately.
And why do you say that?
The golf course is link style golf, so there's one tree on the entire Chambers Bay property, and it's not in play. No matter how bad your shot becomes, the shots around the green are going to be a longer ground. You're not going to see a lot of high rough. There's some rough in places, but it's not going to be predominantly in play. And so the golf course for the folks that are going to watch on TV is going to really remind them of a course they'd see in Europe and Scotland somewhere.
Sure.
This is a big stretch for the USGA for a U.S. Open. It's much more like a British Open type feel.
Adam Lind at the plate looks at a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Lind has singled to left and a ground ball to first, and taken there by Reynolds. Jay Delsing is with us. The U.S. Open on Fox this summer. It's coming up. More with Jay in just a moment. As the coverage, Jay Delsing is with us. And what can we expect, you think, from Fox in your coverage with the U.S. Open this year?
Well, Danny, that's one of the things I'm most excited about. I think Fox's innovation and just being new to the game of golf is exactly what golf and the USGA needed. They're going to take a fresh look at it. They're getting new people involved and getting their opinions. And then there's going to be some cutting-edge technology that's never been used in golf before that I think the viewers are really going to like and appreciate.
Johnny Peralta at the plate. Single into center and an RBI with the bases loaded back in the first. Give me an idea of some of those innovations that golf fans will see. I
think it's going to have a lot to do with some new camera angles, Danny. And I think that there's some new positionings with cameras that they're going to use some. There's quite a bit of elevation change at Chambers Bay, believe it or not. The golf course is built on an old sand and gravel quarry. And so from the 9th tee to the 9th green is almost a 40-yard drop.
Wow.
Which is kind of a crazy thing. So there's got to be some really interesting views and some interesting camera angles that they're going to use. I know that they're also, and I don't know if this will be ready for the U.S. Open or not, but I know there's also been some talk about technology for the greens to try to give the folks ideas about how much slope and undulation the players are trying to deal with, because it's so hard to get a sense for, you're sitting in your chair and you're watching a guy take his putter back 3 inches and the ball rolls 45 feet.
Right.
And it's kind of people like, what the heck kind of green is that? So I know that there's been some talk. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but I'm excited about that as well. Anything that can bring the fans, feel like they're more into what's going on, get them more excited about golf would be great.
Popped up off the bat, Brando Grichuk. I was wondering if that's the type of innovations that gets the casual fan more interested in golf.
I hope it does. I mean, I think the more that we can get people interested and enjoying the game and even playing, it's such a hard game, but it would be better for the better. I mean, the PGA Tour's got some really great young players coming up, and it's always difficult when we kind of lose our star, so to speak. And Rory McIlroy's a great player, but he's not Tiger Woods, and what Tiger's done for the game, he's made it cool. Jack and Arnold put the game on the map, but Tiger really made it cool. And it's hard to kind of watch what he's kind of self-destructed over the years, and then his game's kind of deteriorated with it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Jordan Spieth, could he be one of those young guys?
He really could be. I'm so impressed with this young man, winning the Masters in the fashion that he did it. Just the way he handled himself. His post-tournament interview was spectacular. He's also won 4 championships already, and he's only 21 years old. And we got another young guy named Patrick Reed, who's, just one of the things that happens to the young players, Danny, is that they make a lot of money, but they don't necessarily win over here. And it's not easy to win out there. And when you get a young guy under 25 years old that's won 3 or 4 times, I mean, it really gets some attention. And so Patrick Reed's another player that I look, for us to be talking about for years to come, maybe Ryder Cups and then obviously challenging in major championships as well.
No balls and a strike on Mark Reynolds. Jay Delsing, our guest. Your father, very quickly, in case this inning ends right here, he loved baseball, huh?
Oh, he really did. And
played it at a high level.
He did. He played for the Browns here and played for about 9 years in the big leagues and 20 years as a pro. And this is one of the reasons why I love coming here, and it's such a treat for me to sit with you.
That pitch on the inside corner. It's coming up. Chambers Bay, just outside Seattle, June 18th. And Jay Delsing will be a part of it.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. One of the class acts here in St. Louis. Jay Delsing, 5-1 as we enter the 4th. Caught up on what has happened. The big first inning for the Cardinals. St. Louis with 4 hits. They picked up 5 runs and they lead it 5-1 here this afternoon. Beautiful day for baseball. Rick Horton rejoins us. Dan McLaughlin, Jim Hayes with you. And a strike at the knees to Jonathan Lucroy.
Did you get any golf tips?
I need a lot. There's not enough time.
Jay's a good teacher, too.
Oh, he's terrific. Been on the golf course many times with Jay Delsing.
He gave up on me, but you're worth.
You guys were neighbors, weren't you?
We were neighbors, and at many times where he's tried to fix my swing, but standing on the left side just, doesn't work.
No. I've got a better chance of fixing your swing. That's driven into right. Jason Hayward is there to make the catch. Lucroy twice is flied out to right. He's 0 for 2. But John Lackey's given up a total of 4 home runs this year. 2 of them coming in 1 game, but just 4. And that's another reason you win.
Throwing strikes, keeping the ball in the ballpark. Again, this is a pitcher's ballpark for the most part.
Peterson and a fair ball. Reynolds, Lackey to the bag, and the out. So 2 outs and nobody on. Hector Gomez will be the hitter. Gomez walked back in the 2nd inning. One thing that Jay does, it's a lot of fun. He does clinics, corporate outings, the lessons. He plays on the senior tour. Stays very busy. He was telling us his dad was a former major leaguer. Played here in St. Louis. One ball and 2 strikes.
And his late father, Jim, had a chance to really get to know him. And as Jay said, 9-year veteran in the big leagues and one of the nicest men you'd ever want to be around. I mean, just a terrific man, and certainly lost a great ambassador for St. Louis and for the sport of baseball. And Jay could have been a baseball player too, but chose golf.
Well, if you've seen his swing, you'd understand why for both baseball and golf.
Is that kind of a dig?
No, not kind of. He hits it a mile, though, in golf. The 2-2. Ground ball to third. And a low throw in an air on Carpenter, his 4th. Reynolds had been so good on those types of plays with the picks at first, and this one comes up just a bit short.
Yeah, you can't get them all, but he's gotten most of them. The short hop and almost short arming the ball a little bit. Matt Carpenter didn't get full extension on that throw and just a little bit low, and normally pretty steady across the diamond. You wouldn't say Matt has a cannon at third base, but he's been accurate with his throws over the years.
2 outs and a runner at first. Hernan Perez. He flied to center first time up. When you look at John Lackey in the first inning and then see what's going on in innings 2, 3, and now 4, it's night and day. In the air, deep right center. Grichuk with room and makes the catch. Brewers have stranded 4 and a beautiful day for baseball here in the Gateway City.
One of the best he's seen from Lance, 7 2/3 scoreless innings. Mike says not many pitchers can get away with what Lance does, pounding fastballs. In fact, Lance says all but one of his 118 pitches last night, fastballs. Some four-seamers, some sinkers, different speeds. Lance says they're all the same to him, fastballs. Lance said at times last night, Yachty wasn't even putting down signs. It was all fastballs all the time. Now, part of that, Dan, as you know, Lance not wanting to provide an inadvertent scouting report to opponents, but he also likes to have a little fun with the media. And in last night's postgame, Dan, Lance put on a clinic.
Jimmy, were you in the middle of that? Was some of it directed to you?
Well, he looks at me when he gives a wise guy answer, and I try not to laugh, but someone did ask him last night, Lance, why do you love fastballs? That was a real question.
Base hit for Molina. Follow the Cardinals with MLB.com at bat, #1 app for live baseball, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Goofiest question asked to you as a player.
Well, I'm actually thinking about the goofiest. It was actually, you're in my brain again.
Okay.
And I actually read an article at one point about some of the craziest questions ever asked. And I know Hank Aaron was asked once after a game whether he was left-handed or right-handed. So that's one. Now, we got to understand. The reporters do a terrific job, and the beat reporters are there every day. But, you know, when you get 20 people in a room, you're going to have the least common denominator in every profession. And, unfortunately, the players have to deal with that least common denominator. And Bob Forsch was asked, sitting next to me, after losing a game in the World Series. The question was posed to him, now that you've lost this game, are you going to go home or are you going to stay with the team the rest of the series? And Bob stood up from his chair, shook his head, and walked into the training room, and the interview was over.
That was enough. A base hit into center, and Molina will stop at second base. First two have reached for the Cardinals here in the home half of the fourth.
Bob, of course, one of our new inductees into the St. Louis Baseball Hall of Fame, rightfully so. You look at the record books, great Cardinal pitchers. He is up. You see Gibson, of course. But Bob Forsch is in the top three in so many categories. Interesting that Adam Wainwright's starting to push his way up some of those all-time Cardinal pitching records. And not only that, he got to visit with you and me in the booth.
Oh, yeah. Highlight of this season for him, I'm sure.
You think he enjoyed that last pitch of a World Series game any more than he enjoyed visiting with you and I?
Think about that one. Lackey trying to get the bunt down here. Now swinging, and 1 ball, 1 strike. I did think about this, though, when he mentioned that Yadier Molina is the best that he's ever played with behind the plate. You can tell his kids he played with the best catcher ever.
Yeah.
And he said there'll be a statue outside of Yachty before it's all said and done. And I agree with all that. But I also think with Wainwright, depending how long he plays, how successful he gets, you never know. We might be doing the same for him.
Agreed.
Already, I believe he's a Cardinal Hall of Famer. But you think about the era of Edmonds, Pujols, Wainwright, Molina, these players that have been a cornerstone of this franchise. Matt Holliday. You know, this is one of the great eras and runs in the history of this organization.
Really, since 2000, you add names like Matt Morris and Edgar Renteria and Scott Rowland. Just terrific teams, terrific performances, and we're still trying to kind of sort out where that fits in terms of the all-time Cardinal record books. And part of the reason we haven't sorted that out very well as the team keeps winning year after year. So you're talking about today's team.
Yeah.
Don't get a chance to celebrate 06 very much because we've won since then. And so we've got other people to celebrate. It's just amazing how that's worked.
In my mind, this is the greatest run in the history of Cardinals baseball. I mean, there were some great teams in the 40s, the 60s, the 80s.
Decade long, or not even a whole decade. They would be, say, 6 or 7 years of runs in the 40s. There's 42 to 46, and that was certainly one of the great eras of Cardinal baseballs. You think of 64 through 68. Again, another terrific era. And then the 80s, 82 to 87. But this is prolonged, what we're dealing with now.
Bases loaded. Edward Jones pleased to sponsor the Hall of Fame and the annual induction process that gives fans a voice in honoring the team's greatest players. And that means Curt Flood, George Kissel, Ted Simmons, and Bob Forsch. The newest class presented by Edward Jones.
I'd add a player like Jason Isringhausen to that list in terms of the longevity and the high level of performance. Izzy's going to be a part of the fantasy camp that we have that begins here tomorrow at Busch Stadium, which is the St. Louis version of the camp that we do down in Florida, and we're looking forward to that. They have Hall of Famers coming again, and Rick Ankiel and Todd Worrell and a bunch of great Cardinal players from the past. But I think Izzy's a guy that tends to get overlooked.
1 ball, 1 strike. With the bases loaded, nobody out for Colton Wong. Wong has doubled and scored and also grounded out to first.
Chance to break it open here.
It on his hands and a foul ball. A single by Molina, a single by Hayward. Walked John Lackey, and now dealing with Colton Wong. 0-2 pitch. Missed. Wong with a fly ball out to center. Remember, Molina is running. Catch is made. And Yadi staying put at third base.
With 1 out, maybe. With 2 outs, definitely. With no outs, I think Jose Oquendo and Yadier Molina are on the eye of, well, we've got more chances here with Matt Carpenter coming to the plate. He probably would have scored as the throw hits the mound and bounces up in the air, so Molina probably would have made it, but I guess you weigh all the odds. What are the chances of scoring versus the chances of Matt Carpenter driving you in anyway?
So 1 out and bases loaded. Carpenter, an infield hit, and grounded out sharply to Lind at first. We're in the home half of the 4th. The Cardinals leading by the score of 5-1. Carpenter, base hit into right. 1 run is in. Here comes Hayward. Throw by Parra is not in time. Sliding in safely. It's Hayward.
So the patience pays off for the Cardinals as Matt Carpenter does deliver. Base hit to right field. Now you've got Hayward, different runner, different number of outs. Go ahead and send him. And despite the close play, slides in there safely. Nice slide. away from home plate, gets the back of it perfectly done by Jason Hayward.
Runners at first and second. One out for Holiday, who walked and scored back in the first. It's a 7-1 St. Louis lead. Activity in the bullpen now for Milwaukee. There's been a couple of pitches today that Matt Holliday has just missed.
Agreed.
David Goforth, right-hander, getting loose. Oh, 1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Strike zone's been a little tighter today. And you've got a 7-1 score. Pretty wide zone yesterday. 1-0 game.
Holiday pops it up to the right side. Parra giving chase, and that'll drop. Holiday is sitting on 3 home runs. The 2-2. And a strikeout of the Cardinal left fielder. 4th strikeout for Nelson. Saturday, June 13th. Walk home with a Cardinals pet leash. Compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Peralta, single to center. Nice play by Lucroy.
Lucroy hasn't really been much with the bat since coming off the disabled list, but on his 4 games that he caught in the minor leagues, he had a hit in each one of those games, but he actually enjoyed the opportunity at the low levels in the Brewers system of working with the young guys and playing every day, and it was really kind of a breath of fresh air for him.
Into shallow right center, and the catch made by Gomez. The base hit from Matt Carpenter into right field. That drives in 2, including Jason Hayward with the slide at the plate, just beating the tag of Lucroy. 7-1 as we head to the 5th. this year. And the Cardinals, look at that record, 21-7.
Dodgers also at 21-7. It really sets up a great matchup as the Cardinals begin a road trip tomorrow. The Twins, the Mets, and the Royals, all teams that have played very, very well at home as well.
Here's Jimmy Nelson. It'll be Nelson in the top of the lineup here in the top of 5. 7-1 Cardinals. They've out-hit the Brewers 7-3. Nelson with a line drive to left that drops in for a hit in front of Matt Holliday. John Lackey in his career with 5 or more runs of support is 91-6. Think about that. Chevy Fox tracks a pitch that was up and a leadoff hit for Nelson. By the way, I could not agree with you more in terms of Jason Isringhausen, all-time saves leader for a franchise that's been around for over 100 years. Chopped over the head of Carpenter and a fair ball. Nelson will stop at second base. Any other player, he's probably at third. But the pitcher running, he's at second.
So that's the good break for the Cardinals. The bad break is that this ball bounces over the head of Carpenter and there's nothing he can do about it. Just one of those infield hits. Back in the day, they used to be turf hits. You'd see a lot more of those, but now you see it only when the ball is hit into the ground and it's hard ground in front of home plate.
Now, granted, I make that statement over 100 years of baseball, and I realize the evolution of the closer and the save has come into play. However, it does give you an idea. He's the all-time saves leader. That's a big number.
Think of some of the closers that the Cardinals have had in the last 30 years since that evolution, though.
Popped up off the bat of Parra. And the catch made by Grichuk. Bruce Sutter, Lee Smith, Al Raboski,
Todd Worrell, Dennis Eckersley, Dan Quisenberry, Tom Henke. Did you say Lee Smith?
Lee Smith. Next time you're looking for great seats, just head to StubHub. And there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right, on StubHub. The price you see is the price you pay. And you can find out more at StubHub. One out. And the pitch fouled back by Gomez.
Joe Horner was the first really good left-handed closer that the Cardinals had before Al Raboski, and those two were really I'd say the two best when you think about the closer position from the left side. So many good guys over the years, and Izzy, when you say all-time saves leader,
carries some weight.
Pretty good company.
1 out, 2 on. No balls, 2 strikes. Gomez has flied to right. Real key play in this game early on. Jason Hayward, a running catch in the gap between center field and right field. There's a strikeout for Lackey. His third today. As Gomez slammed the bat. That's why you hear the boos.
Well, not a good at-bat for Parra before Gomez. Popping up the first pitch with 2 runners aboard. And this is just good pitching here. He's angry, but that was perfectly located, that pitch on the outer half. By the way, when a player slams his helmet, slams his bat, we saw Matt Adams do that a couple of weeks ago. We saw Segura do it here yesterday. Players do get fined for that. Fans may want to know, and often you'll see the umpire point at them, and they're letting them know you're going to get an equipment throwing fine. And I'm sure Segura got one here yesterday. Did it right in front of Joe West. But that's different than getting tossed out of a game.
Seen Gomez do that a lot. Adam Lynn with 2 outs and 2 on.
Cardinal fans may remember the time Yadier Molina got thrown out for pounding his helmet after crossing first base. He threw his helmet into the ground and was thrown out of the game. Not just fined, but thrown out. In fact, that was a year ago yesterday when that happened. And I think the reason the Cardinals were upset about that is, a player getting mad at himself, which Yadi claims he was, is a little different. And maybe that's what Gomez was, mad at himself. A little different than trying to show up the umpire. But I guess it's all in the perception.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and 2 on. 7-1 Cardinals as we play in the top of the 5th. Wong is on the outfield grass. And a fly ball lifted into left center. Randall Grichuk makes the catch.
Sounded like you were doing the Preakness for the Belmont Stakes.
Randall. Against Frias tomorrow will come your way at 8:30 St. Louis time from Los Angeles. Wacha Frias right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Randall Grichuk, Mark Reynolds, Yadier Molina for St. Louis. After a tough first inning, which Jimmy Nelson gave up 5 runs. He's given up 2 in the 4th, but lasting at least until pitching into the 5th. We'll see how long that does last. Grichuk reached on an error but did get an RBI on the play and struck out back in the 3rd.
Danny, we were talking about the Cardinals' run since 2000, and 2000 is a good year to mark that. In 1998, actually 97, 98, and 99, the Cardinals finished 4th, 3rd, and 4th under Tony La Russa. But the year 2000 was a 95 win season for the Cardinals. So for 15 years, from 2000 to 2014, only 3 times did the team not finish 1st or 2nd.
11 postseasons. June 12th, Budweiser is providing 25,000 fans ages 21 and older the 5th Stein in the Championship Series. This highlights the 30th anniversary of the Cardinals' 1985 National League Championship team. Tickets available at cardinals.com/promotions. Mark Reynolds grounds out to third, and there's 2 outs. Molina, Wainwright, Garcia, Holiday, and Jay, longest tenured Cardinals. Seems like yesterday John Jay was racing in from the outfield in the 2011 World Series.
I think you could win some bar bets with that particular question. Who are the longest tenured Cardinal players? And especially putting Jaime Garcia on that list. I think Wainwright you'd get, Molina you'd get. The other 3 would be difficult.
It's sharply to first, and there's Adam Lynn. We played 5. St. Louis 7. Milwaukee 1. Here on Fox Sports Midwest. And to the top of the 6th, and Arcia in the driver's seat.
John Lackey has been very good at home, and this is the first 10 home starts since 1920, and he's on the list of the 5 best Cardinals ever. First 5 starts at home as a Cardinal. Shelby Miller actually leading that list. We remember how good he was when he first came up. John Tudor and Jaime Garcia, a couple left-handers on that list.
Uh-oh, did he drop the ice cream? I think he did.
I would say you go with the 5-second rule.
My house, it's the 5-minute rule.
Fair enough.
Just saying. Pick it up, and everything will be all right.
You got ice cream all over the place.
One ball, 1 strike on Jonathan Lucroy. I have a very, very special birthday wish that I need to make sure I get out there right after this. Off the base of the wall, taken there by Holiday, and a leadoff double for Lucroy. That's the first double this year for Lucroy. My mom, Jane McLaughlin, is 70 years old today.
Oh, how about that? That's awesome.
70 years old. So if you know my mom, you just give her a call and say, hey, Jane.
Danny told me to call you.
Dan said to call.
Special day, special birthday.
Day. Happy birthday. Everybody loves my mom. Oh, nice play here by Peralta, and he got him. Wow. Robs Peterson. Tommy, our director, said she must be a saint. And I say she is. So happy birthday, Mom, and I love you.
And parenthetically, that's Dan's birthday present for you. Base hit almost up the middle. There's Johnny Peralta making a nice play. You know, Johnny's not known for his range. That's not something you think about with Peralta, but his hands have been very steady and very good. And that's a nice play.
Lined into right. Some hard hit balls to start this 6th inning. That'll go to the wall. Hector Gomez will stop at second base.
I'm just kidding about that being your present for your mom. I just thought I'd add that.
I'll remember that next time your mom is in the booth and wants to visit with me.
Never going to happen. Not a bad pitch, really. They have been squaring up Lackey more this inning. That pitch was away. We also saw Lucroy drive a ball to left for really the first time in this series.
Start to stretch a little bit in the bullpen of St. Louis. A lefty is throwing for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's 7-2 Cardinals here in the top of the 6th. It's Neil Kotz throwing in the pen. Aramis Ramirez is on deck. He would be the pinch hitter for Nelson. The 2-1 off the end of the bat and a foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Milwaukee with 9 wins at home, 9 wins on the road. 18-35 this year. Here's a 2-2. Strikeout for Lackey. Strikeout number 4. Love the drink run with any size, any flavor McCafe shake for just $1.99 at McDonald's. Ramirez will be the pinch hitter. He's just 1 for 11 against John Lackey. This could be the final time we see Ramirez. Don't see Milwaukee until August, and
who knows where he'll be.
Exactly. And a 1-0 pitch from Lackey with a runner at second base. The 7-2 Cardinals lead. Here it comes. Ramirez bounced into the game-ending double play last night. And what a double play it was. Started by Carpenter, the turn by Wong, and then the stretch by Reynolds.
And really not enough time to give credit to Trevor Rosenthal at the end of the game for pitching out of that. He didn't have any room at all for error, and a couple of hits in that inning, a couple of base runners, but he was able to get that double play with a tough hitter at the plate in Ramirez. And Nelson now 3 straight starts against the Cardinals where he doesn't go more than 5.
On a play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strikeout of Ramirez. Back-to-back Ks for John Lackey. We're midway through 6, 7-2.
Winning game 3 of this series, our BJC Healthcare difference maker, 2005 at home. The Cardinals have actually had a harder time winning game 1 of the series. What's the matter with you? They've dropped 4 of those 9 games, as Danny's beating me up here in the booth for some reason. But 16-3 in games 2, 3, and 4. Dan, back to you.
You got lippy during the break.
I didn't know I'd get pounded on as I was taking us out. I thought maybe we'd settle it after the game.
Neil Kotz, our Chevy call to the pen. You explained that wonderfully well.
Thanks, Dan.
You got to battle through different things, adversity in this business, Rick, and I'm proud of you. You just didn't realize I was going to give you a right hook, a couple of jabs, and you just kept going. That was awesome.
Mid-sentence. Wow.
Well done.
Tough job.
Here's Hayward, and he looks at a strike.
Okay, I want to see you do that to Tim McCarver in Los Angeles. I want to see you pound him and push his chair out of the way while he's explaining something out of breath. I want to see that. I can't wait.
Is this playable? It is.
Watch out.
Oh, my goodness. Flying into the sheets. Gomez. What a scary moment this is.
And he was so vulnerable as he was going over the railing at full speed. A lot of concerned looks from his teammates. You see him answering questions, doing some movement, but wow, what a dangerous moment. The applause when he stood up, and more applause when the tests are over. The trainer's very attentive to Hector Gomez. Thankfully, he's walking off the field. Almost hard to watch this replay, Dan. You could just tell how scary this is. He's watching ball, 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 and then too late. Almost like that last step was just one step too late for him, and the left knee hits the wall. He goes over into the seats. The fans and his teammates right away showing concern. Very thankful he was able to walk off, and just all those tests they were administering to him while he's standing in the stands, essentially, and wanting to make sure he had all the right movements. And whew, I'm glad that was not worse.
Sardinez goes from second to third. And so we've got Sardinez and Hernan Perez into the game. Hayward with a sac fly RBI and a hard hit line drive to center, and then singled and scored in the fourth.
Think about the time that Rick Ankiel ran into a center field wall. That was one of the nastiest plays I've seen on the field.
Speaking of Rick, he's standing by with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Yeah, and Rick is here for the fantasy camp. And Rick, I know you've done this in the past, and it's something you enjoy. What do you like about it?
Oh, it's always great to come back and see everybody. It's also great to get back out there and be able to play on Busch Stadium again.
You ever hit against Ricky Horton? Because I know Ricky's part of that.
No, not yet. I've been waiting for the chance to take him deep, but it hasn't come yet.
Well, many have before you. Right now you're working as a life skills coach for the Nationals. What is that all about? What kind of things are you doing?
I'm a resource and a confidant for the players, somebody for them to lean on, and really it's about me going in there and teaching those guys the tools and mechanisms that I learned along the way. whether it be on the field or off the field stuff. I'm kind of like a big brother.
You were telling me you really enjoy that, too. That's something you want to stick with.
I do really enjoy it. It's been great so far, and the guys have been really receptive, and I've had a lot of fun with it.
I know a lot of people are interested in the Rick Ankiel story that you've been working on. So what's the status of that? Last time you weren't sure exactly when it was going to get moving, so give us an update.
I think 17 is going to be the launch date. It's a tedious process, but one thing's for sure, we want to make sure we get everything right. You'd hate to rush something and get it out there and not be what you want. So 17, I think, is what we're looking at.
We've been hearing rumors, and you heard the same one. Rick Ankiel wants to make a comeback. So we have you here. Let's squash that rumor.
Well, actually,
you look like you could play.
I have a private tryout tomorrow. No. I don't know where that came from. I assume whoever put it out there was bored.
Well, I know you look good at fantasy camp. You still can play. I don't know if I can say the same about Ricky, but thanks for the time.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Ricky, he wants to take you deep, buddy.
Lackey lines out to left. There was zero hesitation in the answer of Ricky Ankiel. No hesitation whatsoever. I'm looking forward to my opportunity to take Rick Ankiel, or rather Rick Horton, deep.
And let me tell you why that wouldn't happen. I'd walk him and pitch to the next guy. That's called wisdom, Dan. Got to be careful who you're pitching to.
It's fantasy camp.
I understand there's a left-hander advantage, but then there's either a doctor or a lawyer on deck who hasn't swung in 20 years. I'm taking my chances there.
Made a valid point there,
Okay,
Rick.
I'm just saying.
I had the chance to participate in the fantasy camp this last winter, and Rick Ankiel still throw, run, and hit majestic shots.
Yes, he can.
0-2 on Colton Wong.
And I love his excitement, and you heard that with his talk with Jim, his excitement about being the life coach. And the Cardinals have that in Cal Eldred, and teams are moving towards that, the big brother thing. In some cases, it's hard to keep veterans around, but if you can get a veteran around that's not a coach per se. I mean, the coach does some of that, and your manager does some of that at the minor league levels and at the big league level. But to have somebody, and I think Rick said it well, like an older brother that can kind of give you some life advice for a young guy that's out on his own, I think that's a good investment that teams are moving towards.
Think about how he has come full circle in his life, too.
Yes.
A young phenom that flames out, if you will, on the mound, reinvents himself as a position player, and a good one, and a very mature individual.
Remember the first home run he hit here as a Cardinal?
Yeah. I called it.
Oh,
it was incredible. The reaction of Tony La Russa, I'll never forget. Broken bat, and Wong is retired. The Cardinals go 1-2-3. We head to the 7th. 7-2 St. Louis. mound. Harvey, Lackey, and Cueto. What do you make of that list, Rick?
I think you've got guys that know how to pound the strike zone. You've got veterans. And Lackey's just gotten better with his outing today.
Strike thrower, as we've talked about. That's John Lackey. 80 pitches, 57 have been strikes. Top of the 7th rolls in, and Gene Segura leads it off, and it's fouled back.
And what you do with the guy that throws first pitch strikes, you swing at that first pitch because you know it gets worse. 22 out of 28 in the zone for Lackey makes it much easier to attack from there. If it's ball 1, then you get a little tentative. You're afraid to throw the ball down central, and that's when you get in trouble. Now he's ahead. Now he'll widen the zone.
Base hit into right. Went down to get it.
Lackey did in fact widen the zone, but Segura went down to get it right off the outside corner. Really perfect location. 2 hits for Segura.
Parra, a 2-hit day, a single and a home run, rips it off the bag, and a fair ball into right field. Parra has to stop it first, and Segura over to third.
Hits the bag, bounces up, and I like what Jason Hayward does after this. He just gets the ball into the infield. Not a hesitation, or not a lot of hesitation. Just get the ball in. Don't hold the baseball if you're an outfielder. That's rule number 1. Get it in the infield.
With that throw, I thought Segura could have scored if he didn't stop.
Well, I think
he could have caught Peralta off guard a little bit too.
It's 7-2.
And I get it, yeah.
Yeah, with nobody out, I think it's back to the earlier situation of not scoring Molina on the ball to center field. It's all about risk reward, and you have to do this. What's interesting, if you're a third base coach, if you're Ed Cedar, or if you're Jose Oquendo, you have to be making that decision on the fly. You don't get a chance to do math. It's all about instinct.
Segura, the runner at third. Catch is made. Grichuk hits the cut. That's Reynolds.
So again, you calculate, is that deep enough? Grichuk has a good arm. Nobody out. Not worth the risk.
Adam Lynn with runners at first and third. First pitch is strike. Lind has singled to left, grounded out to first, and also flied out to center.
We highlighted the 10 starts that John Lackey has made at home as a Cardinal. The shortest start that he's had, Dan, has been 6 innings. So not only has he been good, but he's been durable and he's gotten deep into games.
0-2. Brewers have had a couple of innings with good opportunities. They have stranded 7 thus far through 6. Lackey would love a double play or a strikeout. And a ball outside. Mentioned it last night. You're looking at Segura, Parra, Gomez, potentially Lind, all as individuals that could be on the move. Here's a 1-2. Fouled back.
And my feeling is that with the increased number of teams in the playoffs, it's making more teams feel like they want to be buyers deeper into the season. So now you've got less sellers, and we're projecting that maybe Milwaukee would be one of those sellers. So you've got more suitors. So I think what's happened with that is the turnaround can be quicker to get back on track as an organization, because you can get a better deal if you're the Phillies or if you're Milwaukee with some of these players that are difference makers for a potential pennant win. You'll get more in return.
Inside 2-2. And a lot of teams will be hovering around 500 and saying, look, if we sell off some of the assets, we're telling our fan base we're out of it, when the reality is you're a decent run from being right back in it because of the wild card. So it's the flip side of it too. Some teams hold on to those players that could be on the move. The 2-2. Ground ball to the right side. Run will score. Wong makes the play. That makes it a 7-3 St. Louis lead. So Segura scores the third run for Milwaukee. Here's Jonathan Lucroy with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Lucroy, his first double of the year after 50+ a season ago. That was back in the 6th. Also flied out to right twice.
Another example there of risk reward score situation inning, with Colton Wong getting the sure out at first base. No thought to try to get the lead runner there. Maybe he could have done that. Not a great possibility of doing it, but he may have, but smart enough to realize that you just got to get an out in the 7th inning of a game where you're up by 4.
Lackey had 93 pitches. Very well could be his final inning of work right here. Here's the 0-1. Base hit into right. Let's see that arm of Jason Hayward. Fires to the plate. Throw down to second, and got him! Lucroy runs Milwaukee out of the inning, and a strong throw from Hayward. Molina the tag at second. Cardinals player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Cardinals have Carpenter, Holiday, and Peralta. Will Smith is the new pitcher in our Chevy call to the pen. He's facing suspension coming up for foreign substance.
Pitchers would never do that. I don't know how it got there. Heard that before, haven't you?
A few times.
Pine tar, Vaseline.
Who was the worst that you saw?
I was part of an entire bullpen that was bad.
You included?
Me excluded.
You just threw your teammates under the bus, huh?
I didn't tell you which teammates.
The entire bullpen. All right,
but
let's go back to 84.
No, but they weren't Cardinals. They weren't Cardinals.
Okay, so White Sox or Dodgers?
And they wore blue.
Okay,
and one of them got caught and got thrown out of a game in the playoffs. His name was Jay Howell for using foreign substance, which was pine tar.
And a lot of guys are doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, by the letter of the law, you're not supposed to, but guys would use it. I literally did not like the feeling of stickiness. Some pitchers do. So you go have the pine tar, or you've got kind of the Vaseline on your arm deal, which was really what Will Smith was dealing with. And that creates a little bit of a slippery feeling on it and maybe some more movement.
Carpenter retired. One away here in the home half of the seventh. It brings in Holiday, who has walked and scored and struck out. That was in the fourth.
Smith's a good left-hander, though. He's had some very good moments. This Brewers bullpen has some good pieces. We saw Blazek here yesterday. Broxton is a guy that certainly is a kind of a known quantity, or you think this guy's going to be something. I mean, he's got ability, and of course Rodriguez at the end. But they're running out of time with him too. They're going to have to think about their next generation closer. They're going to have to start developing that guy in the minor leagues probably.
Many times it just happens on its own with these closers, the way that it's come about for certain teams. Former starters find a role in the bullpen, they excel there, then they say, well, let's up the ante a little bit, let's see if he can close, and then that happens.
Cardinals have done it by finding guys who are third basemen. In the case of Tuivalala, catchers in the case of Jason Mott that just happened to throw hard enough. Trevor Rosenthal, thought of as maybe an infielder, and just turned them into closers because they throw so hard.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Holiday with Peralta on deck. And it's a base hit into left center field.
Talked about Holiday's swing earlier, going down to get a baseball lower half of the zone. He's so good at that, kind of a sweeping yet powerful swing that we've grown accustomed to watching.
Here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta up the middle, past the diving second baseman into center field. Peralta, a big day with a couple of hits. You can vote 35 times on the 2015 Esurance ballot. Vote early, vote often at Cardinals.com/vote. Last check, he was leading at shortstop was Peralta, and Holiday among 3 outfielders that would be voted in as a starter. Randall Grichuk, couple of strikeouts, reached on an error, but picked up an RBI. Also scored a run, part of a 5-run first for the Cardinals. They added 2 more in the 4th.
That Grichuk at bat that was originally scored as a hit really a key point in this game, and it came in the first inning. If that would have been a double play turned at the moment, probably a 3-run first inning instead of 5. Only one of those runs were unearned.
Hit sharply to short, out at second, and a double play. 6-4-3 on the double play. We head to the 8th, 7-3 St. Louis. Bommarito Sports Update. What a tremendous catch to rob Mr. Boyd as we get a look at Seth Maness in our Chevy Cole to the pen. 27th appearance already for Maness in relief of Lackey. John goes 7 innings, 3 runs on 10 hits, walked 1, struck out 5 in 94 total pitches. Peterson, Sardinez, and Perez. We know he's one of the fastest workers in the game. Great sinker he possesses. Peterson was robbed back in the 6th inning. And there's a base hit to left field. That's 11 hits now for Milwaukee. They've out hit the Cardinals 11-9, but they have stranded 8 this afternoon.
And really a base running mistake to end that bottom of the 7th inning. They got 3 hits in the inning, but when Lucroy got thrown out to second base, that just really took away a big opportunity for them.
Good news with Gomez, who went flying into the stands. The starting third baseman for Milwaukee was tested for a concussion, and those tests came back negative. Crowd today 41,567. 41567. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Slowly hit up the first base line. Maness to Reynolds for the out. And Peterson advances to second base. Hernan Perez will be the hitter with 1 out and a runner at second base.
Seems like a bigger lead than it really is, Dan. 4-run Cardinal lead.
Fly ball out to deep right field. Going back, Hayward makes the catch up against the wall.
Jason Hayward has been busy in right field today. That's a nice grab. Up against the wall. The runner Peterson going halfway. In case he drops it, he needs to be able to score.
Now Jason Rogers with 2 outs. He's been the top pinch hitter this year for Milwaukee. Made 1 start in this series.
And Dan, as I said, 7-3. That ball's down. Runner scores. He's at second base. All of a sudden, the game has gotten tighter. Cardinals got all those runs early. It just felt like the game has been in hand. But the run in the 6th, the run in the 7th from Milwaukee has made it a little bit more in question. You have some work to do.
So 2 outs, runner at second base. 7-3 St. Louis. Belisle and Choate begin to throw for the Cardinals. Seen the 8th innings of tight ball games go to Kevin Segras to get to Rosenthal. In this case, a 4-run lead. Mike Matheny electing to use Seth Maness. Back to Maness. And he makes the play. Brewers have stranded 9 today. Pints of blood were collected, helping save more than 3,000 lives. The Cardinals drive is the largest Red Cross MLB team-sponsored blood drive. Thank you very much. (7-3) Cardinals, and a new pitcher in for Milwaukee.
Corey Knebel, we haven't seen him in this series yet. There's his number, 7 appearances as of today. The ERA just over 4. Couple of home runs in just 6 innings of work. These are Chevy called to the bullpen. Pitched a couple innings in that long 17-inning game. And clearly throws hard.
95 on the first pitch to Reynolds. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Mark Reynolds with an RBI base hit. That was in a 5-run first inning for the Cardinals. 2 more in the 4th. They lead it 7-3 despite being out hit 11-9. Mitch Harris getting loose. Good breaking ball. One point he was rated as the 7th best prospect in the Tigers organization. He's at AAA Toledo with the Tigers a year ago. As Reynolds bounces to third. That was part of the Yovani Gallardo deal when he was with Texas.
We're gonna do one more.
So the successful blood drive, and thank you to all the fans that participated.
Fred Bird supervising, helping, assisting.
Ball 1 to Yadier Molina.
So it looks like we'll see Mitch Harris for the 9th inning. Harris and Manus, Dan, are kind of on the same schedule. We saw them pitch last on the 30th of May, so 3 off days for both of them, and just trying to get them some work and a chance for Mitch Harris maybe to get back on track a little bit. His command has been off some. Got a little room to work with a 7-3 lead in the 9th inning. But he's certainly shown some good moments as a Cardinal.
Knable attended the University of Texas. There's a base hit into left center field for Yadier Molina. He's the closer there for 3 seasons. 37 saves with the Longhorns. That's second most in school history behind Houston Street. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1 out hit for Yadier Molina. Here's Jason Hayward. Made his presence felt with his glove today.
Sure has. Also has a base hit, a sacrifice fly. That's 2 hits now for Molina, Peralta, Carpenter.
And an 0-1 pitch to Hayward. 0-2.
Seen a lot of swings lately from Jason Hayward where his back foot is moving after the swing. Makes you wonder about his balance a little bit. Swinging and then the back foot is moving as opposed to having a solid base.
Catch made by Segura.
But he's getting his hits.
So 2 outs, and it brings in John Jay. Jay will be the pinch hitter, and we'll see Mitch Harris for the 9th. So the Cardinals pick up a win. You'd have to say it's been a very good homestand for the Cardinals. They would improve to 22-7 here at home and 7-2 on the homestand.
And it would mean another series victory if they hold on in the 9th. They would go to 12-2-3 in series.
John Jay has been very good in this role. Small sample size, but 3 for 4 as a pinch hitter this year. To the count.
If you caught the standings today, Chicago, Miami play later today. Pittsburgh and San Francisco playing this afternoon. Pittsburgh in a virtual tie now with the Chicago Cubs. for second place. They are playing very good baseball, and Pirates are not going away.
Oh no, not with that pitching. Your pitching staff led by Garrett Cole
and Burnett.
AJ Burnett has had a tremendous start to his year. Liriano.
You and I saw the ballot. In fact, we had a chance to vote for Pitcher of the Month, Player of the Month, Rookie of the Month. That's part of what we do each month. And the closeout numbers for the month of May for Burnett were one of the top 2 or 3 in the National League.
This right-hander has thrown 15 1/3 innings and struck out 21. Here's a 1-2 to Jay. He strikes him out. We head to the 9th with the Cardinals leading 7-3. Hyundai, look at his pitch arsenal.
A little misleading. The 92% fastballs also includes his split fastball, which is a fastball, but it looks very different. It's going to drop off the table, and it's been a very effective pitch for him. He's going to throw it maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour slower than his regular fastball, but he's certainly shown he's got a live arm. The velocity's back for Mitch Harris, and I think the next step is maybe consistency with that off-speed pitch. And there are times where his fastball's a little straight. You look at his numbers. Our Chevy called to the bullpen, 13 appearances, ERA 4.5. The 8 walks in 14 innings is just a bit too many.
So he gets the top of the lineup, and Gene Segura. First pitch by Harris is taken for a strike.
Interesting how he's gone from a story to a factor.
It's a good way to put it. Here's the 0-1. Bryce Harper, by the way, named the National League Player of the Month. 360, 13 home runs, drove in 28. Max Scherzer, the Pitcher of the Month.
Going to divulge your votes? Or is this like a sacred kind of private thing? Or I'm just wondering.
I got to think about who I voted for so I can remember.
It's just yesterday.
Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. I believe it was for those two. You?
Same. We also had a vote for the Rookie of the Month. Jock Peterson was among the candidates, but I voted for Chris Bryant.
Beautiful bunt, and Parra is aboard. So Parra is aboard. It's a 4-hit day for him. John Lackey, our Budweiser player of the game, 7 innings, 10 hits, but really limited the damage. 3 earned, walked 3, struck out 5.
I love the 94 pitches too. Just very efficient.
Here's Carlos Gomez. Short lead by Parra. And Gomez on the first pitch pops it up. Reynolds, playable. He's got it. No. In and out of the glove.
I think he may have had a little more room than he realized. As he's getting close, kind of reaches out and just pops out. Be one of those errors for prolonging the time at bat, which could result in both an error and something positive for the hitter at the same time.
Here's a 1-1. One-two pitch. A broken bat single into center field. So Parra dropped down the bunt. The drop by Reynolds extended the at bat to Gomez, who singled into center field. And that's going to be it for Mitch Harris. Trevor Rosenthal, the Cardinals closer, coming on. Cardinals. Adam Lynn will be at the plate. A 4-run lead and the tying run on deck, so a save situation.
So now 13 hits for Milwaukee, and of course the error is part of the reason why Mitch Harris is out of this game, but becomes a save situation. And as most clubs will do in today's game, if it becomes a save situation, you bring in your closer, and that's where the Cardinals are, trying to shut the door with Trevor Rosenthal. And I wonder if there was any thought to bringing in Randy Choate to face Lind. The other side of that would be you might be seeing Maldonado as a pinch hitter.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball up the middle and off of Wong and into center field. Parra will score. That makes it 7-4. Colton almost came up with that one. Now the tying run comes to the plate.
Ball hit well up the middle, up the box. Lind has been a very good player for Milwaukee. The good effort by Wong, but just what we said a couple innings ago, it just did not seem like this game was over. It seemed like the lead maybe felt safer than it should have felt, and now all of a sudden it doesn't feel that way.
Lucroy, a bouncer to third. It ended last night with a double play. Game 3 ends in a double play. The Cardinals take the series 2 out of 3. Win number 35. The Cardinals are 22-7 at home.
Plenty of offense here this afternoon. 14 hits for Milwaukee, 10 for the Cardinals, but that big 5-run first inning really the difference in this game. That and the job done by the Cardinals starter John Lackey as the Cardinals continue to get good work from their rotation.
It was a 5-run first inning for the Cardinals. Matt Carpenter with a base hit that scored 2, including Jason Hayward. Post-game show next.